Let me begin with my part of contribution to this activity. First
Sir,
of all, let me congratulate each and every person and hello everyone and good afternoon. Good afternoon. Salamu alaikum. And it's really nice opportunity to share my reflections about this particular exercise, and I'm grateful to all those efforts and all those people who were behind organizing this very good session. Perhaps perhaps the good thing about this activity is that this activity is being launched when we are completely stranded. We are actually living in a very uh, different kind of life. The situation demands that we keep on sharing our views and keep on doing something in order to enhance our learning, enhance our experiences, and enhance our overall uh, experience efforts and inputs about different research based activities. I have heard Dr. Shakil Saab's presentation, though the voice quality was not very good, but still I could comprehend some part of his and then there was also good presentation by other participants, Ms. Abda and as well. The last part of Ms. Afsana's presentation I could not hear properly, so I might not be able to connect it with the previous presentations. Still, I would like to share my part of contributions the way I was referred, the way I was invited by organizers through email. Uh, the 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 purpose of writing down different kind of research proposals may be carrying different meanings and different intentions on the part of different people. Since I have been some universities in China and some other universities in Turkey, and we are also extending some of the services to students of MBBS in Ukraine as well. Though for the past 2 years we have not extended our contract with those universities. Uh, since we are recruiting most of the students from underdeveloped countries of African continent and Southeast Asian region countries, in which Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and some other countries are far eastern countries, which fall in the category of underdeveloped countries. We recruit students from them as well. So while we recruit students, we also promote scholarships. We also promote research-based degrees, which are carried out in different universities of China. Now, taking this opportunity and to actually share our experience with those prospective applicants, with prospective research students who are looking for such opportunity, I would like to utilize this opportunity to their advantage by telling them how they can start their work and how they can actually formulate a research proposal that can actually benefit them to enter into good university and enter into a program which can actually lead them to higher learning degrees. What is imperative here, that while we are actually looking for certain scholarship, we must initially see that the area of research which we are planning to work on, we are planning to do research, whether this particular area of research is being is being taken up by any of the faculty persons of particular university. Number one, this is first thing which is very imperative for all those prospective research students who are trying to get hold of any scholarship opportunity. So once the student has taken some information regarding the faculty people that they are engaged into different kind of research activities, and their area of area of research interest is also well defined. Once it is done, the second thing is that they should start reading stuff which is very relevant to that area of interest, and the person should also working from any other international universities or even their domestic universities, people who are working in research area, they should start reading stuff, start reading articles and written work and other research that is either very much related to that area of interest which they are trying to get scholarship or scholarship opportunity in particular university. So both ways. The second thing is that they have to define and they have to shortlist their area of research, and that area of research interest must be a faculty person who is teaching or who is conducting research in specific university. The second thing, I hope that after meeting these two steps, the third step, which is of high importance, then that they have to write down an email in which they have to write down few sentences which can actually which can actually reveal that this particular idea upon which someone is actually doing some reading some of some trying to gather information to actually clarify and to actually make some sense and make someone enable to write down full-fledged research proposal on it. And that email may be written down in a manner that is somehow termed as purpose of study. Usually people call it purpose of study, some people call it study plan, but in both ways, whatever we term it, the student has to write down a kind of study purpose of study or study plan that the person has graduated from university, and after meeting the minimum requirements of that degree program, the person is now looking for certain scholarship or trying to get into research based degree program that could be MS, MPhil or PhD. So after writing down that purpose of study, that purpose of study will be a kind of reference point, or will be a kind of beginning of any future correspondence with the professor or with person who can actually coordinate between that university professor and the student. In our case, what we have been doing with many underdeveloped countries students, we create their such study plans, and then we coordinate with the different universities professors who are working in similar kind of research fields, and we refer and we direct those study plans to those university professors. Once those study plans or research ideas are shared with the professors within specific timeline. Here the important thing is that there are certain timelines, there are certain timings which are necessarily followed by the applicants. What happens with the applicants, sometimes they fail to understand, they fail to properly follow these timelines, and because of this failure on their part, their uh, applications and their ideas and their research interest is usually not evaluated, and they consider that their research idea has not been actually accepted. But the fact is that they have simply ignored very minor thing, that they have not followed properly the timeline. So this is third thing. Once they have successfully met their timeline and they have submitted their study plan with either coordinator or with the university faculty person straight away, the response time in certain cases, the response time is initial response time is from 2 to 4 weeks. Once this response has been received, that response is that response is a kind of determining factor in this case. That response determines whether the applicant's idea and the study plan has been accepted by the university or by the faculty person or not. And if we simply say that the research interest has not been accepted, because sometimes students usually consider it big failure, but I think they have to understand that there is no one particular faculty person who can cater the hundreds of the students who are applying in the same research field. Sometimes professors and faculty people who are actually conducting similar kind of research, they do not have vacancy, they do not have enough space within their research cluster, so they usually drop such applications. But they what is important on the part of such students, that they should not stop their efforts, and they should start, they should send the similar kind of research proposals to any other professor, any other university where their such ideas or research proposals can be entertained. So the fourth thing, once they have done with these three steps, the fourth step would be that they have to write down, if the professor, if the faculty person has actually approved their idea and have shown their consent, that university professor is willing to supervise future research from particular university, the student will be, then the stage of writing down research proposal comes up. And then the student the student have to be very careful while writing down research proposal. Now it comes about the idea of the complete presentations which we have heard today, the Dr. Shakil Saab's presentation, and then later on couple of other very important presentations. Perhaps Dr. Abda has also shared her views regarding writing down and uh, framing a kind of research proposal, how one can successfully frame successful research proposal. While you are framing research proposal, because you see for the past 6 or 7 years we have been catering to different students. What have been glaring fact, we have to accept this harsh reality, that the students from underworld countries, they lack two important skills. Number one, they 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 fa- they primarily lack to read stuff, to skim properly and to scan properly in order to reach certain analysis of that stuff, that literature, which is relevant to their research. Once they have once they have read some stuff, some material which is relevant to the research, and they have skimmed and scanned them well, then their argument can be properly formulated, or their argument can make some sense as well. So while writing down their proposal for scholarship, they have to be very careful in articulating their research question. The research question has to be very carefully articulated, because the research question is the core question, or the uh, core idea of that puzzle, which the student is looking for addressing. The student is looking for to approaching that particular puzzle through that particular research idea. So this research question can be a kind of important way forward for a student, for an applicant, to to formulate a successful research proposal. Once this research statement or problem statement is finally, articulated, finally it is formulated, then the student will have to, connect it with two other things. Number one, that how the student can ground certain theory or certain framework through which student can actually, analyze or actually, evaluate or actually, explain or explore or describe those factors which can actually, make that research statement a kind of scientific inquiry, a kind of, attempt that can actually lead to a kind of understanding, a kind of finding which can actually, which can actually enable uh, reader to accept it, to and to consider it a kind of research proposal that can be categorized as a research proposal that can be actually, granted scholarship. And then comes within this proposal writing, then there is methodology, because the research question can determine the nature of research methodology, that what kind of research methodology the student is going to, use or going to imply. If the research statement is allowing that student, because once the student have simply, done graduation, perhaps some of the students may be bit more equipped or bit more skilled in terms of actually, writing, in terms of actually, relating their research question with the methodology, rather, skillfully. But what is so far, coming to our experience, that many students actually, lack this particular, relationship of research question with theory and then methodology. So I would rather suggest those fresh applicants that they have to, they have to be cognizant of this view, that the researchers, when, faculty people of university are different, experienced researchers, when they look at their proposals, they expect that the student is actually, relatively exposed and relatively, educated with the idea of research methodology, and how the researcher is going to, collect data, what kind of methods the researcher is going to employ. Because within that research methodology there are two difficult fanciful terms actually, are usually referred. One is epistemology of that particular research statement, and then ontology of that particular research statement. But these two terms, epistemology and ontology of that research methodology, will always be determining the nature of that research statement or research question which the applicant is going to, investigate. So there are various ways of finalizing that methodology, but the way we try to, push students to improve their, chances of getting hold of scholarship, that they must read some stuff on research methodology, which can easily, give them some idea that how they can relate their research statement with with specific technique of data collection, with specific technique of data analysis. And in certain cases the student has to have some kind of understanding of data analysis within this new digitized resources, as our Chinese fellow have just described couple of softwares in which there are certain softwares which can assist to the students while carrying out quantitative analysis, and there are certain qualitative softwares are also available which can also provide some additional support to the students to analyze their data if the data is going to be qualitative. But I think once the student has completed merely graduation, it is simply, asking from a student of simple graduate to actually, do some miraculous things while writing down some such proposals. So what we recommend to the students, once they are actually, writing down their proposal, that they need to actually, relate their research statement with their methods instead of methodology, that what kind of possible method they are going to imply to collect data, and what would be the nature of data, whether data would be quantitative, or it is going to be qualitative, or it is going to be both. In certain cases, some researchers try to, use both type of data, quantitative and qualitative as well. So after meeting this fourth requirement of proposal writing, the fifth requirement of this whole process of submitting an application for scholarship position, the students usually ignore to actually, uh, uh, ignore the value of specific the specific field in which the person is going to, enter to conduct one particular exercise to complete his or her research project of higher degree, the MS degree or PhD degree. But their question or their problem statement or their research statement has to be related with the broader paradigm of those particular research, the broader paradigm of the research, that how their idea is going to be part of broader stream of that research in which they are going to contribute something new. So the students who are writing down their proposal, the final part of the proposal must be connected with the broader paradigm of that research in which they are going to, complete, or they are going to embark upon their research project. Once these 4 or 5 steps are completed by the student while formulating their research proposal for scholarship program, they have to then they have to, send this proposal. I think that to formulate such proposal will be requiring at least 2 to 3 months. In certain cases it is 8 months 8 weeks exercise, but in few cases it can be extended to even 8 to 12 weeks. That means that from 2 to 3 months. And usually, in Chinese case, we see that universities usually, provide at least 3 months time to finally write down their research proposal. So the students are advised here from my side that the students should actually, complete their research proposal with at least significant amount of efforts to actually, relate their research statement with the research interest of that particular faculty person who has extended his consent or willingness to supervise his or her research project. And the second thing is, it should be duly supported by a fairly good amount of literature review, that how you can actually, show that your research is going to be significant contribution in the overall body of knowledge, because you are going to, fill specific gap. And the last thing of that proposal must also, carry few future research questions, that if you are going to, investigate, if you're going to, address this particular research statement, this research statement is going to open new doors of new questions, and new questions can be addressed at later stage. I mean, this is how the student can formulate and can actually, prepare a research proposal. Before actually, completing their research proposal, they have to, prepare their mind, that which kind of research area is going to be their uh, research interest in future. So the whole exercise is demanding full-fledged uh, full-fledged serious attempt and it demands that the student must actually engage into different kind of study circles, different kind of reading circles, and student must engage into kind of activity through which they can actually come across different kind of ideas and origin of ideas. And lastly, since I have been part of this organization past, and they have been conducting different kind of seminars and different type of activities, my humble submission would be here was, with reference to this particular activity, that this activity is a kind of unique activity which PAS has finally undertaken, that this activity should not be actually only one particular event, and after that we should be actually looking for at least 6 to 8 months breaks, or even beyond that. I think the such activity should not be should not be conducted after after long span of time. Such activities should also be made part of a kind of a part of past overall activities profile and activities timeline, in which past has been conducting different activities, and it should be very much integral part of those activities, that the students, because whenever we go to different colleges, we find out the students are doing their BS programs. After completing their BS programs, are those who are actually who are going to finish their BS program, and they are actually in the last semester of their program, or perhaps close to the last semesters. I think that is ripe time, and that is a very appropriate time for them to get such critical information, that how they can start looking for such literature, how they can start reading such literature, that can actually give them some idea that how they can actually identify the literature gap in, because finding out literature gap is key for any student to finalize the research interest in particular research area. So so having said it, uh, this overall activity gives me an understanding that by carrying out such activities, the student may also be given an opportunity to send their different type of research proposals, because we have Dr. Shakil, we have now alhamdulillah Dr. Rashid, and we have gotten a couple of other PhD scholars who have recently completed, or who are actually completing their PhDs, that we should also give them opportunity, that they should send their initial research research based interest to different people, that their research ideas may be scrutinized, and they may be evaluated, and once they are evaluated, then their shortcomings, or their uh, weaknesses of those particular efforts may be highlighted with relevant references, with relevant even suggestions, that what kind of literature may be more helpful for them. So I'm extremely glad, and I'm really thankful to you that you have made such a good effort, though I could not prepare any presentation yet. I expect from you that you would be making it regular part of our activities list, and this regular routine of activities, which are going to assist our not only Pakistani students, but perhaps it is going to be equally helpful for those who are in Africa, and if they are listening us, who are in Central Asia, who are listening us, and many others who are listening us in different parts of the world, because this is very nice opportunity for us to give those important information and those important critical information that usually students miss to miss to carry once they are actually, looking for such opportunities. But I'm really very hopeful that in near future we are going to, improve this activity by, giving them more, kind of information, more, orientation regarding this, proposal writing, and regarding, submitting their rich and perhaps successful, applications to get hold of scholarship opportunities in different universities of China, and perhaps other universities where we can actually, guide them. And once again, I'm very thankful to all the participants and all the organizers who have provided me very good opportunity to, share my submissions. Thank you very much, Amir.